Hello, everybody. I'm sorry. It was a little not as quick as I thought I was on pressing the button to get in here. So, how you guys doing? Long time no see. I'm Michael Gracia, and welcome to Get in Tune. I have a great show planned. I have a good friend of mine coming on. We're going to talk about some fun stuff. It's got some projects, a project getting ready to go to Kickstarter. Um, and I just want to tell you guys, I know I've been away for a while. I've only done 2 shows since the new year began, and we're in April now. But I have been working hard on booking people, and we're gonna have a show, I think, every single week from now until July. At least is how far I've booked in advance. So I think that's fantastic. I am excited to come back regularly and chat with all you guys and bring you the world of cartooning and all these great people in there. But let's bring on tonight's guest. He's been on a couple of times, and we've had a great time chatting. And he's got a new project coming out. He's going to tell us all about it. Carl Paolino. Paolino. Sorry. Whoops. Sorry, this button here.
That's my disappearing act. I just I disappear and come back.
So sorry about that. And
no, it's all good. It's all good.
Name again, but I do that to everybody, so maybe don't feel bad. Let me adjust. So I'm in camera here.
That's better. A little bit more. A little bit.
Yeah,
more.
I'm gonna turn my.
There it is.
I have a laptop here. I'm using the laptop camera and move some things out of the way so I can lean on my drawing table. I'll get this place clean one day.
Nah, don't do that. It's not the same because you know where everything is and you know what you're doing and you could reach over and grab this and you know what you're doing.
You know what my problem is? I clean it once right before I start a new project. I make this room spotless, and then I start the project and within an hour it's all messed up again.
Wow, you're like a 5-year-old. Like, yeah. The toys are all over the place.
Yeah. and you're not lying. I mean, listen, I could pull a toy in any direction I go in. So
we should all have that. I can just reach back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know, you too.
It's a curse. It's a curse. We all have it. If you're in this business.
Yeah, I think so. But it's fun. I get to look at everything I love all day. I get to draw. I get to have a lot of fun. Everything that I look around, everywhere is inspiration,
There it is. Everybody should do that, Yeah. I go on some podcasts and there's like blank walls, cracks, it's like, where's the inspiration coming from? You got to surround yourself with these fun things.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I have so much. Actually, I don't think I've ever showed this on air. I love these. I was in Disney World back in November, and I was driving around Orlando. I went to a comic shop over there. I forget the name of it. It was in a little inside like a little mini mall type of thing, and they were selling these boxes. I think they were like $5 of comic strip characters. And I never saw them before. And I got Curtis.
Oh, wow.
I got a Grimm from Mother Goose and Grimm. And one of my all-time favorites, I got a Dennis the Menace.
Nice. What are they from? Like, they look like they're from like cereal box or something.
No, they were. I have the boxes across. Actually, on the other side of the room, I have a couple because I saved them so I can look them up on eBay to get the rest.
Yeah.
So, but they are. I'm just looking at the back right now. It was 2021. This King Features, Hearst Modeling, licensed by Boss Fight Studio LLC. Outside of King Features, I don't know the other people. So, but yeah, no, these are cool, and I keep it right next to this. I got it, I think, Universal years ago. Wow. It was a Hagar the Horrible. It was one of my. It's my comic strip shelf. I got a Beetle Bailey up there. I got a few things there. So.
And the young kids today go, Beetle Bailey. What is that?
They have no clue, but I Love it. Read it all the time. I actually have across on the other side on my door. It's a Beetle Bailey, I guess, limited edition print, and I forget my number. I'm like 1,200 out of like 5,000 or something.
Wow.
And but it's a really nice piece where I don't have my glasses on to see who's with Beetle right now, but they're talking about how they spend their money, and then Zero's writing this like philosophical thing, and at the end they spend their money on stuff for Zero, and it's just all nice because they were making fun of him while he was writing, and they're like,
Huh.
"What do you?" And it's just a really nice like inspirational piece. I like read it almost every morning when I walk in to my studio.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, nice way to start the day. Little inspiration.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, we got to get to your stuff.
Sure. I thought we just hang out and BS for the rest of the night. I'm good with that.
I'm good with that too. Well, we do that at shows and
Yeah.
other things. So we can focus on on your stuff tonight. So before we get on to it though, just
Yeah.
a little quick reminder to the audience of who you are, if they forgot or if they never have seen any of the other episodes with you, which is just wrong in my opinion, but they should be.
I know it's but I'll forgive them. I'm good that way. Yeah. So I'm Carl Paolino. I'm a film producer. I'm an educator. I'm also a comic creator. I guess at this point, among the shows that I do, I'm best known for my work with MTV. I worked on Celebrity Deathmatch, and I also worked on, I think it was trying to call Liquid Television. They did that for a short while.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of claymation type characters, which weren't really made of clay. But don't tell anybody. They were made of foam rubber puppets is what we usually made. And I created the production line for the Celebrity Deathmatch TV series, and my studio produced over 400 puppets for the show. Shortly after that, early 2000s, I did another TV series. It was unnamed, and it was supposed to be a series. Then they thought they were going to do something else with it. We thought we'd put it together as a feature, and it ended up becoming Parallel Hollywood, which is my YouTube channel right now. So if anybody would like to see any of the stop motion animation sketch comedy show that I produced with my partner in LA, it's Bob Underwood. And he was the writer, co-producer with me, co-creator with me. I directed the animation, and my studio produced over 600 puppets for that series, along with all the background sets. And it was kind of a high point. It was at this point, but the best stuff is yet to come. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I teach at School of Visual Arts one time, maybe once or twice a week, depends on the semester, who signs up for my classes. I teach in the film department. I also teach in fine arts. I'm a sculptor. And as a comic creator, my publishing company is Comic Book Kid Publishing. You can find that under comicbookkidpub.com. And you'll see Spontanea, which is my first series. We completed the first 6 issues. We're almost done with the second 6 issues. So we're going to be looking at a new distribution deal very, very soon.
Nice.
And then I got a Kickstarter coming up, and I'll just keep talking until you stop me.
Well, I'll cut you off there then for a minute because you were saying stuff about your new YouTube channel and the videos and stuff there,
Yes.
and it made me think of a question because I've worked in animation, but I've never directed like professionally. I've my own little animations here and there and stuff. Obviously, they're my creation. I controlled every aspect of the project, but I've only worked. I did a little 3D work, like designing characters in the past, and a little 3D animation. Mostly creating backgrounds in 3D. That was like early 2000s. But most of my experience is in 2D animation. How is it? What's it like directing like puppets in a way, like the 3D puppets? Like
Directing you puppets, I want you to do this.
Well, no, because like the way I think about it is I've been on the set for stop motion twice in my life. One for a college project to help a friend,
Gotcha.
and the other was a commercial that mixed stop motion and actual puppetry together.
Oh,
And
wow. Okay.
um, and I was just an assistant there, so I wasn't, I was just doing kind of what I was told. Um, but like, you have to really keep track of these things and the movement. So what is directing, like the 3D, puppets like?
Okay, so the thing to really think about when you think about stop motion animation is that it's a weird amalgamation between live action, when you're on a physical set, everything's large, our
Yeah,
size, of course, and the actors are just like us, and you give them some kind of direction. They got to hit their marks, they got to look at the camera, they got to deliver lines. Stop motion animation is similar that way because it's a three-dimensional world. It's not on a flat tablet,
yeah,
it's not in your computer. It's actually right there in front of you. So it really has to do with working with the animator, because the animator, in a way, he's doing a little bit of direction there. He's moving the character around. He's hitting the mark where you would like him to. He's doing the action you want him to. The dialogue is the same thing like traditional animation, where you go into a booth sometimes weeks or months before and you record all the dialogue, and then you edit the dialogue so that you get the best takes and the character speaks all the way through, and the animators got to hit all those points. So I know in some cases, like a lot of the projects that they do, like Coraline and uh, the most recent stop motion projects that were feature films, uh, they do a lot of repeat takes. They would animate the character in, every 12 frames, and it would do a lot of popping around. It was almost like a three-dimensional visual storyboard. The character goes from here to here to here to here, and then they refine it. They'll do every 6 frames, they'll do every 3 frames, they'll do every 2 frames, and then they'll do a single frame. So they get to watch it done several times. So an animator would discuss it with the director, and they get that action down so perfect. We didn't have that kind of budget. We didn't have that kind of schedule. So I would go in, and quite honestly, I trust my animators completely. The animators for my TV series were the same animators. Yeah, same animators that worked on Celebrity Deathmatch.
okay.
So we already knew each other. And we're also under schedule, like all productions, scheduling and budget. And it was like, this is what I need the puppet to do. I needed to enter frame, stop in the middle, do this, deliver this line. If it's a character that was supposed to be, Mel Gibson, for example, we animated a couple of times. He had to do something in a certain way. And I trust my animators to deliver it perfectly, or the best way they could. And we always had to hit that mark of try to produce like 5 finished seconds per animation stage per day. So we know at the end of the week, we ended up with a minute or whatever, because that's how you hit your mark.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think most of directors today are micromanaging directors. They like every little thing to be so precise. You know what? You can't really do that in stop motion unless you got a lot of time and you got a lot of money. So for me, it was like directing live action that was just really slow. It's like, that's the best way I could put it.
No. It actually helps me understand it better, because I studied stop motion. Like I said, I've only been on the set twice. I've never actually done it, really professionally. I've built a couple of puppets. That was the extent of my experience with it in school, Um, and I just love drawing so much that stop motion, I appreciate it, but it's not something I ever really want to do, you know. Uh,
Yeah.
but I appreciate it, and I'm fascinated by. Oh, I'm always fascinated by stuff that I don't work on, or I don't know how it's done. You know what I mean? Like I'll watch a cartoon and I'm like, yeah, no, I get everything they done, and I could appreciate it and laugh at the jokes or whatever. But I'm like, I know how to do this, and I could do it if I want to.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, stop motion, I may understand how it works, but I don't want to do it. So I'm always impressed and interested in hearing from the people who actually do that stuff.
Yeah. When I first went to film school,
Mm.
my goal was to be a stop motion animator, actually to manipulate the puppets.
Yeah.
But the same way you've gravitated toward the drawing pad or the
Mm.
wherever that you actually do things three-dimensionally,
Yeah.
I just found that I love sculpting better. I
Yeah.
love working with clay, building things three-dimensionally. That led me to figuring out the best way to build wire armatures, stop motion ball and socket armatures. And we had to build everything back then. Now you could get on the internet, you could just order a ball and socket stop motion puppet and
Yeah.
it comes delivered and you just screw it together and you can animate it. I mean, we didn't have that back then. We had to invent these things, figure out. We had to learn soldering. We had to learn what materials, what kind of metals to use. I mean, the learning curve was just never ending. But the industry was still at an infancy. What I did back in college, the animation techniques and whatnot were probably not much different than what they were 70 years before when King Kong was made in 1933.
Okay.
It just had not changed in such a long time. But with, I think I'd like to believe with Nightmare Before Christmas is when everything changed. Because now we could record things digitally and we could check the animation from frame to frame. Whereas you guys would like flip a piece of paper.
Yeah.
That doesn't look right. We need another leg in between those two legs.
Yeah. No, that's great. It's you're right though. I mean, I don't know. I'm just fascinated by it all, and I think it's cool that you're into sculpting. I've always enjoyed that aspect of it, but I just haven't sculpted in years. It's just sometimes I think about like, oh, maybe I should go get something and make stuff because like when I was a kid, I don't know if I ever told you the story, but
Play-Doh.
no.
Play-Doh.
No, Play-Doh I hated. To this day, I hate Play-Doh.
No,
Yeah,
are you serious?
Yeah, I just never was a kid that was into Play-Doh. I didn't like the way it felt or anything. But like, you know, my parents bought me a bunch of toys, and always the toys I wanted and stuff. But they would get me toys. They wouldn't get certain toys that I wanted for whatever reason, price, whatever. Couldn't get them in my area. So what I used to do is draw like the characters that I loved, and I would basically cut them out and make little play sets. So I'd sculpt like bases and make trees out of like rolled paper and cones and do all this stuff and set up like fields and things.
Michael's Little World.
That's exactly what it was. But like I drew all this stuff. So like I would draw, say, my best version of the comic book Hulk, right?
Okay.
But then I do my best version of Lou Ferrigno Hulk, and I cut them out and have them meet, and I would have like a little play set that I made all out of like cardboard and paper. So that's what got me into sculpting was that stuff. And then later on I got into puppetry and I learned how to
like hand puppet stuff.
Yeah, hand puppet. I always loved this stuff. I studied more marionette and rod puppets things, but I learned, what I guess what you would call video puppetry, like Muppet style, the hand rods and stuff. But but like I have a puppet in my closet that I have to repair still, that I've never painted, but I remember sculpting the head. It's a Frankenstein monster, like a comedic one. He was supposed to be a stand-up comic. And it's done as a ventriloquist puppet. But for the longest time, the one of the mechanisms got loose and I have to unscrew the top of his head to get in there, but it's kind of tight. And I just I'm not using it right now. So I never went in to fix it, but one day I'll finish him. I'll paint him. But I remember being in the studio sculpting that face. And that was like the last big sculpting piece I did.
Yeah. So the thing I'll tell you, I struggled with sculpting for a long time because I didn't know what materials to use or how to use them properly. I guess that's what got me into teaching, because these are the things I teach, how to make things and what materials to use and how to use them, and prevent students from poisoning themselves, because now there's so much available. The urethanes, the resins, the silicones.
Yeah.
You got to use these things properly.
Yeah.
You could read the menu. Artists don't read manuals. It's like, here's a list of, warnings. They don't read that. So, it's like, yeah, don't do that. I'm constantly trying to watch them like an old hen, like, careful. And they're like, yeah, we're not afraid, and they're not. They're fearless. I guess that was us back then.
No, that's like the guy who taught me puppetry, and how to build. I don't even remember the material that's called, and you may know. It was very leather-like, and you would cut strips, and you would dip it in acetone.
Yes, I know what it is.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but that's what the puppets.
It's called Celastec.
Celastec. Okay.
So I was working for a company called Brooks Van Horn in Manhattan, and they were one of two very big costume companies where they not only made costumes, but they rented. Renting was a big part of what they did. They had like a warehouse on the floor that was just racks and racks and racks of whatever you can imagine. Yeah. And I got a job there, and I thought, well, this is great. I'm going to learn something new. And they put me in this room that was a very small room, and it had, I guess it was an airbrush room. So it had ventilation. Sure, it did. And they put me at a table with this acetone, and we just emptied it into a jar, into a bin, and we cut the stuff up and we dipped it in, and then we placed it over like a clay sculpture. Yeah. And then we crisscrossed the images, the pieces, and then it dried up and whatever. So I got home that night, and I knew someone who, for I don't remember what reason, he was more chemically adept than me. And I'm telling him this story, and he said, how long were you around this material? I said, well, I mean, for hours. I sit there, and he goes, were you wearing gloves? I said, yeah, they gave me gloves, but they were like coming apart. They were deteriorating. And he was like, do you realize how poisonous that material is? And I quit the job the next day. He gave me a whole story. And it's like, I was breathing that stuff in for hours. I had it all over my skin. It was dripped all over the place. This was a standard they did back then. And then they used to use not plaster, but spackle. And we coat the thing with spackle, let it dry, give it a second coat. Then we'd sand it smooth. We'd spray paint it. I mean, the finished puppets look spectacular, but if you dropped it, their head would crack. Yeah. And I was like, nah, I don't think I want to do this. This is scary and dangerous.
I know when I used it, because I built it at the guy's house. He worked out of his house, and he told me, yeah, we're going to work on my deck, so you have fresh air. He's like, this stuff can affect your kidneys, and I'm sitting there, I'm a kidney transplant recipient. I really don't know if I want to touch it. And he gave me I worked with tweezers. He would say, you cut the strips, and then he's like, use the tweezers, put in the acetone, and use the tweezer. This way I was never touching anything.
Yeah. Well, how long ago was that?
Oh God, 2005? No, hold on. I met my wife in 2005. So 2003, I probably built the puppet. But I worked with him on and off from 2003 to about 2007. I did an internship for my master's degree with him. Okay. And I learned about, I started.
Somebody has a master's degree.
Yeah, I could teach and tell people I know how to draw and paint. That's basically what it says. It's
because I don't have a master's degree, that's what stopped me from getting a job at NYU.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's not helping me get a job right now. Anyway.
I hear NYU is looking.
I'll go. I'll teach. I've always wanted to teach at SVA. That was one of the schools, and I had a chance, and it fell through because of another job I had.
Those things change often, by the way. So if you propose a class of something, there's very good possibility if it's something unique and different, because they're always looking for something unique and different. It comes down to what department you want to pitch it to.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I came up with body casting was an idea. The idea of making molds of faces, body parts, hands, feet, whatever. And I made some pieces, and I emailed the head of the department, And she said, come on down. And I walked in and I had the stuff with me and I put them right on the desk. And she looked at it and she said, I want it. So here's the thing, though. It took over a year for the class to happen. So even if everything goes according to plan, it could take a while for a college course to actually happen.
Yeah, yeah.
So you better get to it, you know.
And was it Sillyville there? Hey, David says, try having a bachelor's in political science. Useless.
You know, it's funny. I'm not even sure what political science is.
David, you want to explain that? Because
Isn't that an oxymoron? Politics and science? I'm not sure. Maybe this fellow could explain it to us. We'll have him on the next show.
Actually, I do have to book him for a show. We've been
excellent.
I've been a little behind in reaching out to certain people. People have been reaching out to me lately, and I just been like, here's my date, and I know I need to get him on. So he will be on soon.
Excellent.
I promise. Anyway, he said, neither am I. He's not sure what it is. So, but yeah, listen, we've talked at least about a half hour, just, BSing, which is great. I love it. And I learned stuff about, stop motion that I didn't understand. So I think that's awesome. I want to talk about what you got coming up. So what do you want to talk about first? The Parallel Hollywood? Okay. I just want to make sure I have the artwork set up to show.
Sure.
And I will share the screen in a moment. But talk to us. So you kind of mentioned what it was already. But and this is your new YouTube channel. So
yes,
people can subscribe to Parallel Hollywood.
Yes, please do.
And I subscribe. It's a great channel. I love watching the videos.
Thank you. Don't be afraid to ask questions. We answer all of them, as many as we can, as quickly as we can. My partners are Bob Underwood, who's in LA, and Alex Underwood, who is in Germany. So we're pretty far apart from each other, but we try to get to all the questions and tell you what's coming up next. We try to do a couple of little thumbnail sketches, and then we do longer sketches. One of the questions I get is, how is this different than, there it is, that's kind of neat. How is this different from Celebrity Deathmatch? Celebrity Deathmatch, in its own little genius way, was really about all the problems that I think actors have with each other and political figures have with each other, and then they fight it to the death. What we tried to do was take like a Saturday Night Live approach and create scenarios and mix ideas together. So the piece that's on the screen right now, it's kind of like that famous Leonardo da Vinci painting. So it's Godfathers, like the Godfather characters from Goodfellas, and we changed it into Godfellas. So Ray Liotta is the wannabe Christ, and there's various characters in there, and there's the Judas character, and it's there for good fun. It's there for good fun.
Yeah. And I haven't watched all the videos. Is this one up on?
Yes.
Okay.
This was the last one that was up. We got a really awesome one coming up. Maybe tomorrow night, maybe Friday. It's a Tarantino sketch, which I think is hilarious. I'm not going to say any more about it because that would give it away. But definitely Tarantino and material in stop motion. How do you go wrong?
Yeah. And what you said either tomorrow or Friday. Do you have a regular posting schedule, like every Friday something's up, or do you do a couple times?
Right now we're aiming for Friday, but we're trying to do twice a week.
Okay.
So, it's I mean, we've only been up, I think, what is today? Today's Wednesday. So we haven't even done a month yet. We're brand new at this, and we're trying to find the right schedule that works for all of us and to get the material out there as quickly as we can without oversaturating. You don't want anyone to get bored. You want to keep the surprises coming, and there are a lot of surprises coming, which is a lot of fun. The first one we did was the Woody Allen and Become Spider-Man sketch.
Yeah. Is one of the images on here? I don't remember.
I don't know. I just there's Gilligan and Morbius. So we've got a Matrix sketch coming up. I mean, the really funny thing is, I think you have to be a little older to get the Gilligan tie-ins.
Mhm.
You know, I talk to my students all the time about some of the older stuff that I've done, and they're just like they have no idea what it's about. But I think once you hit your 30s, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that. It's like being at the shows you and I have done. People are coming by and remembering Celebrity Deathmatch, and they're in their 30s and 40s, and
And
it's a lot of fun.
my age, I used to watch the show. I mean, it was back. It started when I was in college, if I remember correctly. So I was studying animation, so I watched everything I could, and that was one of the shows I watched, pretty regularly. Love it. This is great stuff here. I love, what I love looking at this, and I love the wrinkles. I don't know why. And this is something I always loved about the puppets in Celebrity Deathmatch too. Just kind of, where the joints are, that it's so wrinkly. It worked so well because, they're all in clothing all the time. So,
Yeah. You know what's funny about the wrinkles is most people read it, when they look at it, they read it as clay.
Mhm.
That's like the conversation I'll have every time I do a trade show. I'll have that conversation 50 times a day. Everyone is like, well, the clay. And I say, well, actually, it's not clay. That's how it was pitched. Claymation. It was a good catchphrase at the time.
Yeah.
Your foam rubber latex. And, foam rubber wrinkles when you bend it. I think it looks great on monsters like dinosaurs.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I rather like it too. I mean, it looks soft. It looks, the faces, by the way, the heads are hard plastic.
Or hard play. And the mouths are separate pieces you attach, right? Or
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, they're like, AEIOU to get all the. If we needed an extreme expression from a face, we would make a duplicate head with the extreme expression.
Okay.
A lot of sculpting.
Like I said, I really appreciate, all the work that goes into this. I
Thank
love
you.
looking at it. It's, I'm always impressed.
I don't even remember what else I sent you. Oh, this is the T-Rex in the city. So, kind of like you get the joke, right? Or female dinosaurs talking about, who the best mate is. And that's the kind of fun we had.
And this show wasn't picked up, you said?
They decided to go with something else, but, it was a full production. We worked on it for over a year, and the material was ours. So we were trying to decide what to do with it next, maybe turn it into a feature film. And lately we said, you know what, we think we'd like the public to see it. So let's start a YouTube channel. And Parallel Hollywood became the trade name for it.
Yeah. You know what I would do? This is just a suggestion I'm getting.
Sure.
This.
Yeah.
I would approach like like one of those independent movie theaters and just have do like a show one day celebrating this, and you have, let's say you have 2 hours of footage, all shorts. You just put them together and let people come, do like an event where it's almost like a museum piece. People come in and get to see, and you charge them to come in, split it with the movie theater.
Wow. I think you'd have to find just the right theater in just the right place at just the right time of year. And I think it would be a huge hit. Like if there was an animation festival going on somewhere local or Canada or, somewhere, I think that would be the perfect place for it.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about this particular shot is that, again, under budget restraint and schedule restraint, my idea was to make one dinosaur mold, one sculpture, one mold, cast 4 puppets, and then we painted them differently, gave them different hair, different paint all over their bodies, different, accoutrements, and suddenly they became 4 different characters.
Yeah, it's, until you said it, I didn't even realize they were the same mold.
Don't tell anyone. Shh. The secrets of stop motion.
That's great, though.
And I didn't realize this early. I'm looking at the background now, that grayish and reddish background. That was like part of a set we used in the Spider-Man sketch. Like, I'm recognizing it because, I was there, but I forgot all about it until just now. We were redressing sets constantly. A little bit of paint, change a poster in the background, and suddenly it became a different set because, it's, you had a schedule, you had a budget, you had to deal with it. That's what production's about, right?
Smart way of working. This is great. And let's see the last one. Oh, this is the Spider-Man one.
So Spider-Man versus the Green Goblin. And, again, the Woody Allen's, turning Woody Allen into Spider-Man became fun. He's wearing his tighty whities, and they got little spiders on them. And of course, he's got his glasses on, which was, Spider-Man, which is Woody Allen. So we're having a lot of fun with things like that. I'm also remembering in the background, there's like a nest with some pigeons in it. And the animators actually animated the pigeon heads, if I remember correctly.
I'll have to go back and watch it because I did watch this one. You posted
Nice.
And I have to go back. I don't remember if I noticed that, but I love the design of Green Goblin's helmet there. I think that's great. This is really nice stuff here.
Oh, thank you.
I love again, the little details like this, the front of the roof here, like the ledge, like you got there. Do you remember what you used to make these? Like, I'm just curious what is this? Kind of like, color's a little weird, like a brownish reddish top here.
Yes.
Do you know what those were made of, or is that like you sculpted that, or was that something that you found? Or
I think the vast majority of the materials or the set pieces and props were all handmade.
Okay.
It was one idea we had was that, like, if you look at Robot Chicken, and this is not, anything negative in any way, but they use a lot of store-bought stuff, store-bought characters. Yeah. And our idea was to create a world unto itself so that everything in it looked like it belonged in that world, and you couldn't say it was from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of sculpting going on. We'd start with something like Super Sculpey or something, and we had a whole crew of puppet makers, and they were fabricating various things, sculptors, molders, casting, and we had all these different things going on.
Yeah. Now, I actually, now that this is a still frame that I'm watching it, instead of watching the animation, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Because I'm noticing in Green Goblin right now, specifically, there's a seam coming up his leg. Is that supposed to be a seam for the material of the cloth that's around him, or was that kind of like how the puppet was built, and that's where you wrapped around, I guess, the leg?
Okay, so the official answer is that was the seam of his spandex.
Okay.
That he's wearing.
Yeah.
That's the official answer, and the truth is that's the actual seam of the foam rubber puppet when it came out of the mold. And if we had as much time as we probably needed, we could have hid that seam a lot better.
No, but I think it works. It makes it feel like
there it is. Yeah.
Like he's wearing spandex,
That's why there's the official answer.
I love it. I do. It's really cool stuff. Wow. This is nice. I love looking at this work here. I'm so impressed.
Thank you.
The
background. I'm looking at the very furthest point. That was an airbrush background of buildings. Yeah, there and all the way on the other side too. I'm remembering that now. We had an airbrush artist who would just go to town, have fun.
It's nice.
We were constantly trying to find new ways of bashing a set together as quick as possible.
It's like putting a little matte background behind it, and
yeah.
Wow, that's nice. I like it. I like it a lot. This is really cool. Yeah. Unfortunately, this is all you sent me. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I get it. It's awesome though. But I love looking at these pieces here. You have this just to show the audience again. You have your Goodfellas piece type of thing here. Your Gilligan and
Morbius.
Morbius. I'm sorry. You know, I don't know if I ever told you I've never seen The Matrix.
Oh my God. Really?
Here's the thing. I have tried 3 times, and every time I fell asleep.
Wow.
So, and you know what? I'm a fan of Keanu Reeves. Always have been. There's never been a point where I'm like, I don't like Keanu movies.
Yeah.
But there's just something about this movie that I fall asleep to every time I try. Same thing happened with oh God, was it Fifth Element? I've never seen The Fifth Element because I've fallen asleep every time I tried to watch it.
Oh wow. You know what? Both of those movies, I believe you really needed to see in the theater.
Okay.
Because they're big, they're bigger than life. And it's funny, you mentioned Keanu Reeves. That's Gilligan, if you noticed. Or were you thinking?
Yeah, no, I didn't notice that you did that.
we have him in another sketch, and we went, hey, wouldn't it be cool if, Gilligan is, Mr. Reeves?
Yeah. I have to try to watch it just because they're so iconic. They're such iconic movies that I'm like, I feel I know all the pop culture references from them,
So many.
But it's just, I've never experienced it. So I'd like to try one day, but I'll wait until I need a nap. I don't know.
You're doomed going in.
Let's see. What was the other? Oh, this one, dinosaurs. I love this piece. And is that it's supposed to be like a little kid or something, like a human baby or something?
I think it's a little monkey, like, a primate. They're eating little primates. Yeah.
Primates. Okay. That makes sense. All right. This one back here looks more like a monkey to me. And then again, the last one here. But this is great. So, to the audience, go on YouTube and open another window so you don't leave this, and go to Parallel Hollywood and subscribe and watch these videos after this episode here. And now you know some secrets behind there. Now, you've got a new Kickstarter coming soon. When does that begin?
Well, if everything goes according to plan, May 1st will be our launch date, but not everything falls into place as quickly as you want.
Yeah.
I really did take my time with setting it up. So there's the title, Penny Poisonberry and the Gothic Kingdom. I wanted to make sure that we had all of our add-ons and our rewards, everything lined up beforehand. We have a couple of different videos. I do one video, and I'm not sure how many more they'll allow us to post. I'm kind of new at Kickstarter. The last time I did it was probably 15 years ago, but I felt it was time to do it again. So the short story is I've been working on this for over a year with my lead artist is Mazzi Migliori, and she's the primary illustrator, and that's one of her covers. And this was a variant cover. There are 2 different covers. She was the colorist on this cover also. This is also Mazzi's illustration, but I wanted another artist that I work with, Martina Rossi. She's a beautiful illustrator as well, but primarily I've hired her as a colorist, and she did this cover for me. And according to my research, your covers help to sell your book.
Yeah.
So when I contacted Mazzi, I had her do the 2 variant covers, this one and the other one. And I explained that I wanted her to be the colorist on one, so it's completely hers. And then I wanted Martina, who's worked on my Spontanea series, I wanted her to color this one. But I gave her a very specific instruction. I was reading about how the artist he did over 60 covers for Goosebumps. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but I know the artist.
Oh, his work is so amazing.
Yeah.
And I was reading an article that goes back probably 25 years. I'm not sure. And they
Okay.
were talking about that when they contacted him, they said, we want these covers to jump off the shelf so that every kid wants to read this book. And total success there, right?
Yeah.
So that was what I did. I put together a couple of covers. I sent them to Martina, and I said, I'd like you to give me something that just jumps off the page. I want a cover that just leaps out at you. So this is what she gave me, and I'm very happy with it. In fact, I turned both covers into a 500-piece puzzle, and
Oh,
we're offering that as like an add-on, is what they call them,
yeah.
or part of the reward system. You know, you could order the paperback, you could get a hardcover, you could get the puzzle, you could get stickers, you could get a lunchbox tin, and then my good friend Lewis, who is an amazing sculptor, he does all these little characters and figures, and I had him create some refrigerator magnets of these main characters, these 6 people. Well, there's actually 9 in there, believe it or not, if you count her pets, which is a rat, a tarantula, and a python.
Okay.
And he created all these refrigerator magnets, and we're including that as part of the Kickstarter rewards.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love looking at the artwork here. I think the artist's name again was what?
Marzia Migliori.
Matsuya. Yeah. I think she has a wonderful style here. Between just going back between the two. Where's the other one here? Yeah, I love this.
Yeah. Usually, when I work with an artist, I like to give the artist as much leeway as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember her describing, because I would say, listen, I need X amount of characters on the cover, because this is what we're talking about, and she came up with this whole idea about, I don't remember the reference. I'm thinking it might have something to do with, what was that movie? Twilight? Was that the movie?
Yeah, well, there was a Twilight movie, and
Yeah, they made like a couple of them, like all gothic, but at the same time, what's going on, this kind of mysterious, kind of look, because it's got sort of a gothic feel to it, thus the Gothic Kingdom. So let me tell you about Penny Poisonberry. Her father comes from the Gothic Kingdom, and her mother comes from New Jersey, and it is a middle grade story,
okay.
and it's a story of exploration. She doesn't know her family history yet. She doesn't know about the evil shapeshifter from the Gothic Kingdom, which is the reason why her father left the Gothic Kingdom. And she doesn't know that one day she has to return to retrieve the family fortune in order to bring it back to where we live here. So she was guarded in some ways. She was homeschooled, and at the age of 12, she finds out she's got to attend public school, and that does not go well. Does not get along with children that are her age because she's far mature for them, and she finds out how mean kids can be, and probably mostly disappointed that her pets can't come to school with her. So, I like to look at it. It's a fun story. It would make a great Netflix series. So that is my end game, among other things. But the book is 75% complete. It's going to be over 100 pages, but we have 75% of it in the can already. There's the samples. Thank you. I forgot I sent them to you.
Send me 2. I'll look at the other one in a moment. But.
Sure. There's no balloons added yet because I'm one of those writers where, like, I will futz around with the dialogue and the narration right down to the minute and change something and make it a little funnier or make it more interesting or maybe set up the next page a little more interesting. But
I do the exact same thing.
Yeah. I think, unless you have a deadline, you got to make your deadline.
Yeah.
But if the deadline ain't today, why would I lock it down,
No, you're right. My thing is, and the reason I do it is usually, I'm trained from comic strips more than comic books. And in comic strips, you want to keep the dialogue as kind of clean and to the point, especially when you're telling a joke. And I was taught no more than, I think it was 20 words per panel.
Okay.
So I'm always re-editing my words in my balloons to get my joke or my point across easier. I have sometimes when I'm doing a book and I know I could write more, I have to like fight that urge. So sometimes because I want people to sound a little more realistic when they talk. So I don't want it to just be, why did the chicken cross the road type of stuff, they're just the exact words you need, it's I play around a little bit more. So I fight the urge of my strip background,
Gotcha.
Yeah. This is fantastic too. I like this.
So this was, again, this is Matzia's illustration. And I have another colorist, Antonella Tiburcio, and I just love her work. She did work on my Spontanea series also, but only up to like the first 6 issues. The next 6 issues that are unpublished were colored by Martina Rossi, who did the variant cover.
All right. Okay. I got a question. Where's Matzia? You said her name is. Where's
Matzia
from?
Matzia lives in Sicily.
Okay. All right.
And Martina lives in Rome. And the colorist of this page here that you see, Antonella, lives in Argentina.
Oh, cool. No, the reason I ask is because the way she drew the desks, these aren't like a traditional American desk.
Yeah, it's those little things, right?
Yeah,
so I give it away.
It has to be, I assumed either from, a European country or something like maybe South America or something.
Right. Actually, those are the things that I love about it, that it's creating its own universe.
Yeah.
I don't feel as if like any child who's like between the age of 10 and 14 and they love graphic novels, they should look at this and like, oh, that looks like school. I mean, come on. Who wants anything to look like the school they have to go to the next day?
100% right. It's hold on, oh, this is great. This is great.
This is probably, I think, one of the most classic example of Matzia's illustration. And because one of the things I said to her is, give me as much expression in the faces as you can. This way I can play around with the dialogue and whatnot. And it's also a classic example of how good Antonella's coloring is.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, you give her the time. I know that the more time I give her to color a page, the better it gets.
Yeah.
So I don't believe in rushing artists, but we're down to those last 30 pages of for our Kickstarter. So we know we're gonna clock it by the end of the summer. So where are we? It's not even in May yet, but if everything goes well, either May 1st or May 4th, we're going. Oh, May 4th, the 4th be with you. Maybe I'll aim for that.
That's cool. Yeah, no, that'd be good. I gotta say, just as an artist, I love her trees. This tree is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's a classic Sicilian tree.
I'm sorry, what?
It's a classic Sicilian tree.
As someone whose heritage is all from Sicily, this is something I've never been, and I wouldn't have known that.
I'm joking. I'm making that up.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know if it was.
It could be true.
Yeah, no, I didn't know if it was like a specific, tree to the area. I know nothing about that stuff.
I've never been there either. We're gonna have to make a trip.
Yep. Yeah, I won't know how to communicate with anyone unless they speak English. Never learned to. And I got to say though, this I love, like, and I don't know if she did this on purpose, coloring, or even the artist did this.
Okay.
But I feel like this is a tribute to Mary Jane from the Spider-Man comics.
Oh, wow.
Was that done intentionally, or?
I have no idea.
This is her face it tiger, you hit the jackpot kind of outfit.
I'll have to ask. I'll have to call her out on it when I see her.
This is great, though. I love it. I love this all. Whoops, this was done really nice. That's my thing, is I'm sitting here, as the artist, I constantly am studying the artwork and
sure,
seeing all this and just, wow. I look forward to seeing this book out.
Oh, thank you.
This is great. The covers are awesome. I was recently in Barnes and Nobles. As I, as you know, and my audience, you've been watching in the new year. I'm starting a new publishing company,
Yes.
and what I do is I'll go into Barnes and Nobles maybe once a week, and I'll walk around the kids section and some other sections, just seeing what's out and what's selling. And I talk to the staff and ask them questions and stuff. And I was just there for like a really young audience book I was interested in kind of creating. But I always go to the like the teen graphic novels, and this cover here just screams to be on the Barnes and Noble's bookshelf in that section.
I
It-
agree.
it's so it's just like 100% what is on the shelves. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's so great. I love this. I mean, both covers I could see, but this one just screams to me like this should be the display book. I love it. I love all this. Um, how long's the campaign you plan to run? Is it going to be a 30-day or longer? Or
I think I'm going to restrict it to 30 days. According to my research, the 30-day campaigns seem to be the most successful.
okay,
And, it's something new to me. I haven't done a Kickstarter in a very long time, but I really want to get this book finished. And I'm kind of tapped out. I did my best. We got through 75% of it. We got about 30 pages left to do. I feel really confident about it. My artists will be standing behind me. And, when you do as many shows as like you and I do, you meet a lot of people and they all want to know what you're doing next.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I'm doing next. And if you went to my website, which is comicbookkidpub.com, that's where the banner says, this is the Kickstarter project that's coming. And that's where I'm going to announce the launch date. And I might be able to announce that like tomorrow. We're almost done feeding all the stuff into the algorithm that is Kickstarter. And it's just, there's so much information you have to put in there and make work. And, that's the whole story.
nice. And did you say you letter, or you just wait to change, or someone else letters the actual physical book and you just write until the last minute?
Oh, I'll write to the last minute. I use Mika Myers, and Mika's done everything. Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, whatever. He's done everything. A lot of independent books. I like his lettering a lot. He's fast. He's consistent. If you want changes at the last second, he'll jump in and make changes for you. I think he's living, I'm not sure, I'm going to say Virginia. So he's in the States. So, in fact, I got to just throw a shout out there. My logo, which is,
Right
there
here.
it is, Comic Book Kid, and there's the Spontanea character in the middle. All that design work and the lettering is done by Laura Williams. Laura is my sister-in-law, and she helps me out every chance she can doing the graphic design and putting the books together. And so it's become a family thing as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm the only artist in my family, so I get screwed that way. But yeah, no, this is really great. I mean, and so you're looking to launch would be what if you do the first? That's next week, 2 weeks, right?
It's about a week and a half. Where
Week
are we?
Yeah, I'd have to look up. I can pull up my calendar, but
Sometimes, what happens is it's a little crazy trying to get all the information into all the little boxes, and then you have to wait for their approval, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
They want to check your bank account and make sure you're a real entity, which is important for me because, I've published comics before under my own banner.
Yeah.
And to me, this is not on the first time I'm doing this. It's not my first rodeo. You could look on Amazon. You could find my paperback, which is the first 6 issues of Spontanea. It's like over 100 pages. This proves I can do it. You know, I don't like to convince people that I'm the real thing and I can pull it off. I want them to see it in front of them. And, you know, my book has been ordered at for different events or schools. And
What was that?
did we just get off? Are we done?
Oh, no. I don't know. We might have had a little internet glitch. No, it says we're still.
I wasn't sure if it was exactly an hour, and I'm like, uh-oh.
No. I mean, we've hit a little over. It's 9:03 now, but this doesn't hold an hour. If it does, then they change the rules.
I don't know.
I mean, time's still going on the clock.
Okay. So I was going to say libraries have ordered the book through Ingram Spark. So, you know, my books are available. I'm a real person. I'm not trying to, you know, get some money out of people for no reason. I'm looking for just enough money to finish my book, and then I will self-promote it myself. I will bring it to every show. I will market it every way I can. You know, that's my plan. I want this to be out there.
Yeah.
Oh, there we are.
Yes, I had to make us bigger. It was, but yeah, no, I mean, that's great. Yeah, and I've seen this work you put out, so I can vouch you're a real person. I've met you, shaken your hand. You know, we've shared a meal a couple of times, so
we got to hang out again sometime.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, which are you doing any upcoming shows that people can find you at? And
yes. So this weekend I'll be in East Meadow, Long Island. It's the MCon, EMCON. It's at the East Meadow Library. Mm-hmm. Next month I'll be at the Cradle of Aviation at CradleCon. It's like my 4th year in a row. It's always a good time. There's a lot of things going on there, and I think we're both going to be at in White Plains.
Yeah, Undiscovered
Realm con thing.
That's my only show as of right now, booked for even the rest of the year.
Okay. Are you looking for other shows?
I'm going to do a few.
Okay.
I'm not. I'm picking very carefully. Right now, with the whole, starting the new company. I was planning to run some Kickstarters, but right now I am holding off to just put a few books out, and I'm working on a couple of books right now. Okay. So I mean, I'm doing one book at a time, but my goal is kind of by September to have maybe 2 books done. And I'm working with a friend of mine on a tabletop role-playing game, which I'm hoping to kickstart September or October. And what I'm doing with the business, and I will eventually reach out to other people to publish, but I've had so many ideas, so many projects that never came to light for whatever reason over the years. Some of it is because, I had to work a full-time job and I was just exhausted and I didn't do stuff that I should, but I always wrote down ideas. And I have ideas for children's books. I have ideas for educational stuff, a lot of things. And there was a comic idea I wrote, and I never did anything with it. I'm like, I don't even know if I want to draw the comic or even write it. I just like the idea, and I thought maybe passing it off to someone. And then when I started the company, I was going through all my ideas, and I said, hey, what could this be? And who could I get to draw it, right? And when I sat down with a friend of mine who's very big into D&D and he's worked on games and stuff, and I said, hey, what do you think of this idea as a tabletop role-playing game? And he said, I think it's great. I think because I want to target, kind of more of the kids, people just kind of getting into them, but do something fun that like you can play with your family or your friends and it's all enjoyable. And he was like, this would be perfect for that. And I said, okay, would you work with me on this? And he said, absolutely. And the more and more we talked, I'd be excited to draw the stories now, like the pieces to it. So I'm going to do the artwork to that book, and me and him are writing the book together. But he's developing for me the game mechanics,
right.
Like, so he's doing, because he has more experience than I do.
Okay.
Because I've played D&D and stuff, but I've never and I've written a campaign, but I've never had to make game mechanics before.
Right.
So he's doing that for me. And we're working on kind of the characters together and all this stuff. And eventually I'll do all the artwork for the book. And, but the goal is, September, October to crowdfund it.
Right.
So that's one of my big projects right now. And, I'm doing a couple of comics, and, I got a lot.
Your podcast.
Yeah, well, I got my
Can we
podcast.
call this a podcast? Is this technically?
I don't know if they call it. I keep calling it a podcast, but did the name change? I mean, some people might call it a video cast or video stream, live stream. I don't know what words they use anymore.
Kids, they're always changing the language on us.
Exactly. I feel it's weird. I told you this even before we went on. I feel that since I stopped in December, like I did my show,
Yeah.
and then I've only done 2, I think, since I've been back in the new year, maybe 3, I don't remember.
Okay.
I feel like so much has changed, because my focus has been in other places that I don't know what's right anymore, with terminology. And even with social media, I feel like it changed in 2 months.
I think it's constantly changing, and different things catch on. And if they don't catch on, then the old terms come back. It's a motion. It's an ocean of motion. It's just things are changing constantly.
Exactly.
I think the things that don't change is, comic books have been around for like over 100 years. 150, whatever. And I think there's a reason for it. We like visual storytelling.
Oh, absolutely.
I've worked on motion pictures and TV shows and TV series, commercials, whatnot, and that's changed dramatically over the last 2 decades, which is not a long time. And I like the idea of storytelling in a comic book format. That's what I like about graphic novels. Is like you're not paying $5 to $10 for this book, and you're done reading it. It's like there's enough there, and there's a lot of things going on, and that's what I like. And I think it's a great way to get kids to be interested in reading and improve the quality of their reading. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, no, I've always said comics are my favorite storytelling medium. And it's not because I work in them. It's because I think all you're limited to is your imagination and your skill with a pencil. So if you could draw it and think it, you could take your audience there. You know what I mean? Like you don't need all the extra teams of people to create a film or whatever. And
it is a team of people.
with comics, I mean, you don't even need to know how to ink properly. To be honest with you, if you know how to use the computer and you want to draw by hand, you just got to scan in clean pencils, and you could adjust the levels in Photoshop and make those pencils look like they're inked. Wow. It's a simple. I've taught people how to do it, and I've done it on times I didn't have time to ink, a piece. I just made sure I had very clean pencils, and then I changed the levels in Photoshop and make sure my black is black. So you could, you got to learn the technology or, have the skill, learn that skill, but you could do everything yourself. You don't need anyone else to make a comic.
Yeah. And
that's one of the things I really, really love about it is that it really can be very imaginative. It could be simple. Like when I was doing The Wiz, if you look at my strips, very rarely did I change angles or whatever, because I thought of it as the audience watching a stage production. So your point of view doesn't change that often. You're seeing maybe characters move across the stage.
Yeah.
But your angle doesn't. So I looked at it that way when I was doing that particular strip.
Okay.
But when I do a story strip, like if I was doing a superhero, I'm changing up the camera angles because I want it more dynamic, more like that. So there's ways of approaching, the storytelling in so many different ways that could change how the audience views the strip or how it affects them, with humor or whatever emotion you're going for. It's so I'm in love, like really in love with this medium. Um, and when you were saying it's not like the difference between graphic novels when you open a book and you flip through it, you're reading it fast. Honestly, that's manga to me. I can read manga really fast, get a good story,
Yeah.
enjoy, and then I may go back and look at the artwork.
See, I've always felt that that manga was meant to be read that way.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's
that's the fun, because it's almost like watching an animated manga where everybody's racing around and doing all sorts of crazy shit. It's like, so you got to read it that way. You got to
like I could, depending on the size of it, I could read a manga in an hour to 2 hours. I'll just sit down, maybe on a Sunday morning, my morning coffee, and just and I go through it, and I can just enjoy a quick read before everyone gets up, and it's nice. I tend to do that type of stuff. I've been reading more of that lately. I've actually gone back more into European comics. Okay. I've always been a fan of things like the Smurfs and Lucky Luke and Asterix and things. I mean, listen, they're just like they're in like reach very easily, Yeah. Who do I got here? I got an Asterix here. What's this one? The Marsupilami Thieves. Like, I love this stuff. And this is like a big inspiration for what I want to do with my company, Inkfera Press. I don't know if I'll publish this size because unfortunately these albums are not as popular anymore in reading size, but yeah, it's.
See, I love that magazine size. That's always been my favorite. But I know what you're saying. Everybody likes the little. We used to call it pocket book kind of size, and thicker but smaller, and I don't know.
I love
your backpack easier. It doesn't get damaged.
Exactly. I've had some of those for years. I've gone through I don't know how many times I've read those. It's just fun.
Nice.
Fun, but yeah, that's what I like. But yeah, I'm just looking at your Penny Poisonberry again cover here. This is great stuff, man.
Thank you.
I'm going to be looking at this artwork and studying it. I'm not going to lie to you. I love looking at other people. One of the things I actually love doing, and that's another reason I love comics, is because there's so many different styles out there, and you could have something super simple, and if the writing is good, it just makes it so much better, Yeah. And it's just, I mean, writing's always going to be key, but it's the comics themselves.
Well, I think that's actually one of the faults of the industry right now, is that they make the artwork key. Mm-hmm. And I believe they should really work together. But like sometimes, I don't really buy many comics. What?
No, I just saw another comment. I just want to say hi. Dylan is on, so just hi, Dylan.
Hey, Dylan, what's going on?
But
I feel that sometimes you find the artwork and it's just absolutely amazing, and there's like 5 words on each page, and it's like, oh, come on, give me something more. The artwork deserves more. Yeah. That's the way I feel. It needs more storytelling. It needs more characterization. It needs
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. But that's what I love. And that's one of the reasons I read webcomics. So there's so many people that won't read them because I have to have print. Yeah. I'll read everything. I'll read it. It doesn't matter what it is. I read all comics, print, digital, just as long as long as a good story or good writing for humor, I'm a repeat customer,
Yeah. I mean, the biggest problem I run into is like how much time of your day, you want to get things done. You want, so like I try to like double up on things. Like I listen to audiobooks, and it's like, so I'll get my exercise in while I'm listening to an audiobook, and never disappointing. I'm doing the old classics now. I recently did To Kill a Mockingbird again.
Okay.
No one's ever read it. Oh my God, it still holds up. It's so good.
Good book. Very good book. It's
Is
one
there
of
another comment there down there?
oh he asked your name, and it's Carl. He says your name. I don't have my glasses on. I can't see.
Is that why you're doing that? Like what?
Yeah, that's why I'm going in, because my glasses are for distance,
Yeah.
and when I put it on, I can see, but I got to sit back now because of the distance.
And now it's too far away.
Yeah, exactly. So now I take my
You need the
glasses,
magnifying glass, you know?
and I'm always at I'm either at my drawing board, which literally is a rotate of the chair here, or I'm on my Cintiq right here.
Yeah.
So my glasses are always off in the
And
studio.
you got two arms, so you could like do one there and
Oh, if I was only ambidextrous, I totally would be doing that. You know, I know a guy who can draw with both hands at the same time,
outstanding.
and it's one of those things where he like starts at different parts of the page and he just draws to the set. And I'm just like, I hate you so much. Like you watch him draw, and you're like, you're so damn amazing. Like nobody should be that good. You know what I mean?
You know what I think when I see someone who's that good, I just think, I hope there's somebody taking care of you because usually someone who's that amazing, like you'll find out, where are you working? Oh, I'm working at McDonald's. No, you should be in a museum. You're doing amazing work, you know, but like, you know, sometimes the level of talent we have is not reflected with our bank account.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's one of the reasons why I chose to publish and write rather than get involved in the illustration and the coloring and the lettering and I mean, somebody's got to do the marketing. Somebody's got to do the advertising.
Yeah, I know. You know. I'm basically a one-man show right now, getting ready to. I'm planning everything right now. I have a new YouTube page, I have a Facebook page, I have an Instagram page, all with Inkfera Press. Nothing is posted. I wanted to start posting next week, and I wanted to do a video, but I wanted to clean myself up, shave my head, but then my cat, you know, as I told you, landed on my head in the middle of the night, and I'm all scratched up here that I can't shave my head now. So I may have to hold off another week or so.
That gives you character. It's like, oh, I saw that video. The guy who had the scars on his head. Oh my God. What's his story? Because that's what it's about. How do you capture an audience with your story? And it's simple, like, who are you? Hey, how are you? How are you? What are you doing here? What do you know? The story is the thing. Capture people with the story.
I will say, just right now, I'm planning on Saturday. Where is it here? I just put it back because I always say the names wrong. I'm terrible, as you know, with names. But Albert Uderzo here, who's the co-creator, and he wrote and illustrated. He co-wrote and illustrated these books of Asterix. Saturday would be his birthday if he was still alive. So I want to do a live stream and talk about Asterix on Saturday. Wow. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do a little drawing and stuff and talk about, because I love this stuff here. And there is a on Tubi I saw. I'm almost done watching it. I got tired the other night and fell asleep. There is an Asterix Goes to America animation.
Okay.
You know,
everything you watch, you fall asleep.
No, well, I was watching it late at night, but yeah, no, I'm at the age now. This is the funny thing, and I don't want to keep you too long. We're almost at 9:30. But
no, you tell me when you're done. Otherwise, you know, I mean, I set aside tonight just for you. So
I appreciate that.
When you had enough, it's like, yeah, we'll have to meet up for lunch and finish this conversation.
Hold on, I just want to go. Dylan asks, "What's your comic called?" And it's his new one is called Penny Poisonberry and the Gothic Kingdom. And it should be coming on to Kickstarter possibly May 1st, which would be a 4th.
Let's go with May 4th. The 4th be with us.
Okay, so that'll be not next Monday, but the following Monday. Awesome. But no, what I was going to say is I, you know, since I really, you know, became serious about starting the business, and it's like my life is all art, like 24/7, right? That I hardly watch TV now. I listen to YouTube videos, podcasts, audio books, things like that. And that's what I do when I work. I try not to watch movies. Like tonight, the new episode of what was it? Invincible came out today. So I'll watch I'll
Okay.
watch that. But it's an hour long. I might pass out because I'm tired from working all day. I don't really watch a lot of stuff anymore. And when
Yeah.
I do, because I'm not doing anything, I'm now tired and it's just like I'm going to bed. I fall asleep watching stuff now. I
Yeah.
didn't think I would ever get that way because I love TV so much. For years I really did consider it like my best friend. I'm like, everything I learned was because of you.
Uh-huh.
Watching McGilla Gorilla reruns and all this. I learned to draw because of you. I learned to,
Yeah.
write humor because of you, and fell in love with a whole medium of cartoons and animation and comics and things because of the television,
Yeah.
you know. Um, but now I look at it as if I'm watching TV, I'm taking away time from work, you
Yeah.
know, and then I just
In,
kind of
in
zone out.
truth, it's not the same TV it was when we
Yeah,
grew up.
yeah,
Yeah, there's so much that's so different. I mean, if I had to trade in the early TV, and I appreciate everything you said about like McGilla Gorilla and Mush Mouse and Pumpkin Puss, and I mean, I think the '90s TV was the best. I mean, that's the stuff my kids grew up on. We used to sit down together and watch the latest episode of Avatar: Last Airbender,
oh good,
Dexter's Lab, and I mean, all those amazing shows. And Celebrity Deathmatch was in there. But these are the things we watched, and it's like I feel like everything has gone downhill so severely, and a lot of it caters toward the, again, as an educator,
Mhm.
the rapid decline of the American youth's attention span.
Oh absolutely,
And the idea of death scrolling, I've reframed it and renamed it. I call it goal scrolling, because I look for things that I think are positive for me, that
Mhm.
I get something out of, that I find interesting. I don't death scroll because we know where that's going.
Yeah. That does I tend that's like when I'm laying in bed and I can't sleep and I'm like, I'll look for
Yeah,
something to watch on like YouTube.
yeah,
No, no, no. Or you hit Instagram to look up some artwork, you end up watching a reel and you just kind of hit the scrolling and I'm just like, I can't do that. But yeah, actually had to. It's interesting. I had to kind of retrain myself on how I think,
yes,
um, because I found so much of social media, whether people talk about anti AI, it's always politics, it's religion, it's all this stuff. It can't just be art. There's so much negativity being spewed all over. Doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you're on. It's just constant negativity, and I had to find a way to stop looking at it.
yeah,
And a lot of it came down to how I think, because it really was like just really bumming me out. Like I was like, I just don't want to do it. I'm tired. I go on and I see somebody complaining about something, and I'm like, why do you got to put out that much negativity in the world? I mean, there's so many positive things
yeah,
out there that we could be talking about, and we don't. And so I've really tried to stay away from the negativity, which means when I go on social media, I go on kind of to post. Maybe I'll look up what my friend's art is doing, and then I'm off. I don't stay on. I maybe realistically maybe 10, 15 minutes a day now. I would really say between on Facebook, and about the same on Instagram.
mm,
Really don't look at things anymore.
mm,
It was, and I had to tell myself, you can't be doing this, because number one, it screws with your head, it makes you angry, and
yeah,
number two, or number three, whatever I'm on now, is you're not working.
yeah,
You're trying to create work, and you're
yeah,
not working because you're doing the doom scroll, and you're sitting there getting angry at everything. So I had to, and I've discovered that at least my brain does this. When you get negative, it's easier to be negative than it is to be positive, and all your negative thoughts, I think, come back.
Do you know there's actually a scientific reason why that's so?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it just goes back to our evolutionary background of
Mm,
you see, basically your brain is not created to make you happy. Your
Yeah.
brain was created to keep you safe. So what are you going to be safe from? Well, the negativity means there's some danger.
Yeah.
And those emotions are
Mm.
like 7 times stronger than any positive emotions.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you have to rewire your brain.
That's what I'm trying to do. And, and I don't have, like, if you want to call it negative thoughts. I'm not like crazy in my head
It
where
doesn't matter. They're very powerful.
but
That's the
that's the thing.
problem.
It's like, I start a project and then you second guess, or
Yeah.
you do because hey, this project I did 10 years ago didn't succeed like I wanted it to. Why am I retrying a new project? You know
Mm.
what I mean? It's like those, and I'm like, no, 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 this is different. I've learned since then. Like, I'm even trying to ask myself different questions.
Yeah.
So instead of saying like, how am I going to do something? I ask myself, what skills do I have to do this, and what skills do I need to do this? And
Yeah.
can I learn those skills if I need it myself, or is it better for me to connect with someone and hire them out?
Mm.
Like, that's how I'm trying to focus on things, to push this constant negativity of the what ifs. You don't want the what ifs of failure. You want the, when am I going to succeed? Like, you know what I mean? Like, when is this project going
Yeah,
to
I
be
know
done?
where you're going.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So
I know what you're aiming for.
yeah, I'm not trying to be negative. I got to think about how to say it probably, but that's
The
been a
reframing, that's it. It's
yeah,
all about reframing.
yeah,
You could say, I had these failures, or you could say, I've learned all these things.
yeah, exactly.
Another article I was reading, it was talking about, it wasn't about creative people, but it applied that if by the time you're 50,
Mm,
you've made so many failures in your life. Like we could just go, oh yeah, yeah,
mhm,
that's right. There's so many. You have the greater possibility of succeeding at something new than anyone younger than you,
yeah,
because you've made those mistakes. I have these conversations with. I try not to have too many long conversations with my students. They don't have the attention span, but you know who the smart ones are, and you know who the good ones are.
yeah,
By the second class, I usually make an announcement and go, "Listen, I know who my A students are. I know already." And they're like, "Yeah, yeah." Well, I'll tell you what. One of my last classes, I had 3 students in front of me. I mean, not that far in front of me, and they're all on their phones.
yeah,
So I said something. I said, "This is really important." I said it. Then I paused and I said, "You all got it?" And the A students go, "Yep, got it." And those 3 didn't move. And I said, "So, what'd I just say?" Puts down his phone. "What about next year?" And none of the other 2 didn't even know this was happening. The second guy goes, "Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry. I wasn't listening." And then what about the third? And they're like, "Wake up." It's like, the 3 of you,
yeah.
what the hell? Do you know how much money you're paying to be
I
in
was
this
just about
school?
to say, you're at SVA.
This
That
is
is very
insane. You should be hanging on every word I say.
yeah,
you know
yeah,
and it's a crazy time. But you know what I love about teaching?
mm,
I'm probably learning more from them than they are from me,
yeah,
mainly because they don't pay attention the way I pay attention. I
yeah,
go in there, I do a 3-hour class. I call it 3 hours of stand up, because I really work to get them interested. I really work to get them to pay attention, to be amusing, to be, and like I said, the ones that I know who the A students are.
yeah,
You're not fooling me even one bit.
yeah, absolutely. I feel like I was the same way when I was teaching regularly. I'm actually looking to get back into teaching, but I don't know where I want to teach, in the sense of, I don't know if I want
Yeah.
to go back to teaching college or whatever. I do know that I am considering professional development, learn, start
Okay.
teaching the teachers. I want to start teaching them, and
Wow. Nice.
I think I'm going to set up some online
Well, you
course.
got your master's.
Yeah,
That means you're a master. I mean,
I like to think that.
I'm just a bachelor. I got my bachelor's. I'm not a master at this yet. I looked into getting my master's, and I thought to myself, I'm not going to spend the next 2 years and whatever time and money just so I could get NYU to go, oh, no, I don't need it. Not at this point in my life. I like publishing comics. I'm having a great time. I've got another couple of projects coming up. Well, Rich Maurizio and I are doing the Halloween Prankster children's book. And then I've got another comic which is just about done. When we're offline, I could show you those pictures.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it. But, when I do shows, I always think in terms of, if somebody's seen me there before, they heard my shtick, they saw what I did, either they get it or they don't get it. They see me there again. What's new?
Yeah.
I got to have something new. So that's where I'm going with that.
I know. My goal is to have, if I can, to have 2 books for
October.
Undiscovered Realm.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, that's soon.
I have I'm putting together this, finally finishing up, if I can, the second Wiz collection. And some of the stuff that I wanted to put in, I don't think I could put in, but I had an idea for another Wiz book that I'll add it to. So if I can get it done within the next 2 weeks, I can definitely have it in time for that. But I'm drawing a comic on the side. I'm doing a little freelance comic work right now for someone. But the way I
know,
yeah, someone you know. But what I'm doing is basically the way I work it is from like 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. is my work, and then from 1 p.m. to whenever I stop, say 5 p.m. is the freelance work. So I can get my stuff done in the morning, spend the rest of the day, and if I have to work on the freelance later into the night, I'll stop, eat dinner, get back in the studio and work. And so this way, and then on the weekends I try not to work, but if I do, I focus on my stuff. That's what it is. So my goal is to have a good, maybe if I can get it done, it'll be about a 24-page book, like comic. But I'm trying to shoot for a 36 because it's short stories, so it depends how many stories I can get done in time.
Right.
But a 24-page book minimum, and that would
be in color or black and white?
I haven't decided yet. I like black and white. It's funny because I am colorblind, but I know how to color very well because I understand color theory. I color digitally, and I know how to mix colors. Right. So it's like if you want a green, I know what like obviously I got to mix yellow and cyan in CMYK, and then there's a percentage. Oh, you want grass green? It's going to be this percentage.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But if you want like a lime green, I'm going to mix this percentage. So that's how I know how to color. But I also understand color theory. So like I understand, primary, secondary, tertiary colors, complementary, analogous, like I understand how colors work. Wow. I just don't see them like other people see them.
Yeah. Did you ever try the glasses?
I never want to try those.
Really?
Number one, it says it takes a while to get used to.
Okay.
And I'm 50 now. I've spent 50 years seeing the world a certain way. I don't want to change. I think if I was a kid, I'd consider it. Like if I was young, I would consider it. But now that I'm 50, it's like this is how I've seen everything my whole life. I don't need to be like, oh, this is what orange actually is. It's like to me, to be honest, the way I see grass, it tends to be more red. So I see more orange grass than I see green grass. Yeah. I have like traffic light colors, unless it's a specific like type of light where I can really see the green. The bottom light looks white to me. So I don't see that shade of green usually in traffic lights. I see a white light.
Wow. Yeah. Fascinating.
So
what, there's a comment?
No, I'm just looking to see what it was. No, Dylan he's trying to do his own first stop motion animation.
Oh, nice.
Which is cool, and it's called The Manimals, and it says it's a story about anthropomorphic animal mutants who lived down in the sewers for a long time. Interesting. Good luck with that. But yeah, it's so yeah, that's just kind of how I work, and and people love my coloring. They actually, I get complimented.
Richard Maurizio has spoken highly about
Yeah,
it. Yes.
and he knows I'm colorblind. So,
But I think you summed it up well when you said, "I get it."
Mhm.
You understand how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that applies to every creative thing you're doing. I
Mhm.
remember the day I figured out how painting works, because when I first I would draw a lot and pen and ink, and I do all sorts of things, and I tried painting, and it was just a globby mess.
Yeah.
And I was somewhere, I think I was at the Frank Frazetta Museum
Oh, love that.
decades ago, and it just seeing how thin his paint was on the canvas.
Yeah.
It's like you're just getting that little bit of a smush of color on top of another color, and it changes the whole dimension. And I was like, oh, but I don't think I ever had the real patience to sit there and paint. And
I'm kind of,
something I could sit down for hours and just play with clay. Are you kidding?
yeah.
Hours.
It's funny.
But I don't get my work done then.
I know I'm the same way when it comes to pen. Like pencil really is my favorite medium, but learning comics, I've fell in love now that I'm trying to stay away from the computer except for coloring and lettering. I have fallen in love with inking.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still not as good as I used to be with the brush, but I can use a dip pen really well, and I'm very happy with it. And when I ink traditionally now, I went out and bought a whole new set of different types of ink so I can experiment with different inks again. And I one of the first things I learned, and when I was a kid, God, I want to say it was middle school, it's somewhere between 6th and 8th grade. I grew up in a town called Mayapack, New York, and there was about a half-hour away is Yorktown, New York, and there was a guy in Yorktown who was a professional artist, and he'd have classes. And Saturday mornings, I'd go to his classes in middle school, and he'd have adults learning to paint, teens. It was like he took his basement and turned it into like a teaching studio. And he was a retired artist. He worked in comics. I think he was in advertising. He did a lot of different things. And when I wanted to learn, he's the one who introduced me to the dip pen. The brush came later for me, but he introduced me to the dip pen and told me this is how old time cartoonists were doing it. And I think they were still basically, because middle school was the 80s, so I don't even know outside of rapidograph pens if they had like microns back then or not. But I learned how to use the dip pen, and then he taught me how to ink wash. So outside of school where I'd play with paint, maybe watercolor, acrylic, I was learning how to mix basically black with different types of, with water to get different intensities of shadows, and how to paint and do all this stuff. But it trained me basically how to do watercolor. So I can paint pretty decently in watercolor, right? But what I've decided is for the majority of my comic covers, I want to actually do traditional painting. But watercolor does make me a little nervous at times, and I need the color to be listed on what I'm doing. So unless I buy the tubes, it's not going to have the exact color. And if I mix, I may not get that color again, if I need to remix to get it. So what I decided is let me go out and get inks. So the inks will have their name on it, and it could say something like, I don't know, burnt sienna. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to use this burnt sienna for this particular part of it. And if I have to dilute it, I can dilute it because it's ink. And so I'm basically going to be ink washing covers now in different colors. So that's like when I get done with this current freelance project that I'm on, I'm going to start repracticing some of those techniques and do that. And I have tons of fun when I'm doing that type of work. I have found it to become almost zen-like when I'm inking and when I'm doing washes. There's something about the relaxation I get now. Inking always stressed me out because I felt I lost the emotion that was in my pencils. But that just meant I wasn't confident in my ink lines.
Yeah.
And when I went back to either a brush pen or to the dip pens, there's more confidence in there because you can't mess up. You know, digitally, I can hit the undo button as many times as I want.
Yeah.
Traditionally, it's like, no, if you're not confident, you ruined your work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of brought me to a whole new way of thinking, and I've like fallen in love again with
Wow.
with doing, you know, traditional art, and I don't ever want to touch the computer if I don't need to again.
Artists, we entertain ourselves.
Yeah. I'm sorry for that long little speech
No,
there.
no, I tell you what I started doing recently for just, I mean, it's not, I'm not being creative, very creative by doing this, but I helped it just, it's so relaxing, enjoyable, is I'm building 1,000-piece puzzles.
That's cool.
And it's got to be the right artwork. It's got to be a puzzle that pops. I have my favorite company that makes these. It's got to have the right feel to it.
Okay.
Those pieces have to be well made, and they gotta snap together and snap apart. And I like, so once a month, I'll go online. I'll find a puzzle. It gets here in a day or so, and I'm like, clean off the table. I'm building a puzzle. I mean, 1,000-piece puzzle doesn't take me long.
Okay.
But you know, it's the fun. It's just so much fun to build things.
See, you know, it's funny because I can't do puzzles because of being colorblind, but my wife loves puzzles. That's actually her hobby is basic, like for relaxation. It's either puzzles,
Yeah,
Legos, or adult coloring books. That's kind of her three things that
wow.
she does. So depending on her mood, how she wants to do it. Like last night, she was building Legos. Excuse me. She buys, like, you know, she loves what was it, the game Animal Crossings, and
Yeah.
so they have Animal Crossing sets, and she builds. She's
You know
built
what I saw?
what?
So, you know, I do my little walks around malls, and they got a Lego store, and
Yeah,
I caught in the corner of my eye, and I was like, no, it was the red and white rocket ship from Tintin goes to the moon.
wow,
It's like 14 inches, and they got the little Tintin, and Snowy's in his little space suit. And I
that's
looked at that, I'm like, oh my God, I must have that.
oh, you know, I could not put that. I don't have pay. I've never been a big Lego fan, but my wife loves them.
Yeah, I don't really get into Legos. I find, I mean, I don't have giant fingers, but I find like I can't grab the little things. And
Yeah,
I mean, I have my own personal view, and I know there are people who love Legos. So the last thing I want to do is like, I hate Legos, and then they love it. It makes it feel like I'm bashing on them. No, I'm not. I just find it hard to. I feel like for me, it's a design and construction point of view.
yeah.
I feel that the you know what I'm sending to you right now, right?
Okay.
I'm sending you some pictures right now. You're gonna love this. Um, from a design standpoint, I feel like the little drawings in the books that they give you on the instructions, I
Yeah,
feel like it's been misinterpreted. It should be like they're literally sometimes smaller than the actual pieces that come out of the plastic bag.
yeah,
Make them the same size, make them a little bigger. And then from a construction standpoint, half of them lock, they snap together, and half of them just sit there. And if you tap it, it falls off. And I'm like,
I know. I know. First of all, I've tried a couple, but I've watched my wife do them and get angry at them and stuff. But I don't know how she does it. It's very, to her, it's very relaxing. I mean,
yeah,
listen, and I'm like you. I don't hate Legos.
right. I
I
know.
actually just, you know, like I look at, like, you just sent me the Tintin rockets.
You see my Spider-Man up there? Right there.
Uh-huh.
That's a Spider-Man Lego.
Oh wow.
He's like this big.
You know, but I don't know. For me, they're just not fun. You know what I mean? Like when I would play with my nephews, it was fun when I just got to mess around. But when they're like, "Can you help me put this together?" and I got to follow step by step, I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh,
Yeah.
I hate this stuff, you
This
know.
is
But I also think that goes back.
grueling. Ah!
But I think that goes back to my style of cartooning. Like I'm fast, right? I don't want to spend all day focusing on one particular aspect of a drawing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I don't need all the detail. It's less is more. What needs to be there is there.
Right.
So like when I draw, even when I ink, I mean my ink is where I slow down, but
Okay.
my penciling, I remember penciling for to make an advertisement for an online, not online, for an after schools program I worked for,
Okay.
and they said you need to slow down drawing. Like the camera, they said you move too fast, and I had to record it like 4 times because they were like, you need to slow down. Eventually, they're just like, okay, we'll slow down the speed on the on the computer for it because
Oh, wow.
I just couldn't not draw fast,
Yeah.
to get and the guy recording me was just amazed at what I was doing and how quickly I could do what they were asking me to do, you know. Um, so, that's, and I think when you're doing Legos, all of a sudden, and same thing with sculpting for me, and why I don't think I do sculpting as like I used to, is because I got to slow down and focus. And I got to make sure that this piece goes with this piece, or when I'm sculpting that the head is balanced side to side. You know what I mean? Like I could, like for me drawing, I can quickly draw a head and then I'll go in and clean up. But even my cleanup is still kind of fast because I know what I'm cleaning up. You know what I mean? It's like,
Sure.
so for me, I think it's just, I don't know. I don't like to sit and focus on, on one thing for a long period of time. I move around.
What kind of puzzles does your wife like? Like 500 piece, 1,000 piece?
She's done both. She's
Okay.
actually done some of those. I mean, she's done everything. She's done a lot of flower type, like floral puzzles. She's done a bunch of Disney puzzles.
Okay.
But the Disney puzzles are not like, oh, it's just like Mickey from the cartoon. It's like I don't know what artist it is, but like they're painted,
Yeah.
scenes. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
somebody did, like let's say it's Main Street USA, but it's not a photograph. It's someone's painting of Main Street USA that they sell prints of in Disney World, like one of
Mhm.
those. So she'll be doing, and those I think are usually like 1,000 piece.
Oh, wow. Nice. I
And
got this neat puzzle that I don't want. You just text me your address and I will happily send it to her. I think she'll like it.
okay, I'll
I've been doing all this puzzle research for my Kickstarter.
okay,
So I was trying to find the right company that met the criteria that I thought worked well for middle grade kids
yeah,
who would be interested in the graphic novel and like, oh, the puzzle would be cool too. So one, I just felt as if it's like a little bit out of their reach. So it's one of the companies it's that I didn't go with. So I got this puzzle and I'm already familiar with the material. So what do I do with it? But when I found someone who's interested in puzzles, I'll be happy to send it along. Maybe she'll get a kick out of it.
yeah, I'm sure she'll love it uh, when she does, because she takes out like what is it? She has got like those tabletop puzzle boards.
Really? Okay.
And it's got like the felt mat
Yeah.
on there, and it's got drawers to hold stuff. I remember,
Okay.
I remember one year, I think it was for her birthday. I got a bunch of puzzles, but I got those puzzle separators, those colored little, cubes or whatever they are that you could keep the different parts of the puzzles in. So like that's the first thing she does. She opens a puzzle and she separates them into them. And then she'll be like, okay, I'm going to take this tray and this is the corner tray. And so she builds the frame.
I use paper plates for that.
Yeah.
I've been using the same paper plate, big white paper plates. They're heavy duty cardboard. I've been doing this for a while. It's just, all the color of this one, all the candy is in this one, all the house, the windows of the house are in this one. I'll separate it that way. And then it's like, okay, border time. You got to do your border,
Yeah. We have a cat though that's always like by her, so she has to have covers. She has to
yeah. I get it.
because every now and then it's
You
like
can't leave it out on the table overnight.
yeah. So she has a place she puts it. She's got
Yeah.
one of the mats I think she puts on that she can roll it up,
Oh wow.
and then she's done it where she's like, decoupaged it onto like canvas. So
Oh
like
wow.
she'll look at these and then she'll be like, okay, I need canvas. Can we go to Michael's, or can you put a Dick Blick order in? I need this size canvas for my new puzzle. And I'm like, okay. And then she'll add it. She'll decoupage it so it's all together. And then she'll glue it onto the canvas. And we have a couple of her puzzles hanging up, and she'll take it down and put a new one up. And
Oh, that's fun.
yeah. And when you look at it's cool because it's like looking at a painting almost, because you have to stand a good 5 to 10 feet back to really appreciate the image. Because if
Yeah.
you get close to it, it's you see all the lines and everything. It's
Yeah.
you got to
I've
step
also
back.
found the quality of the puzzle, because they do it all with laser cutting now.
Mhm.
They're just like they cut all these things with laser pieces, and if they don't quite go together, or there's different levels, it's like it's not as much fun. So it was a little bit of a trial and error for me to find the right way to do things.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. You got to experiment.
Yeah.
I'm right now trying to get some merchandise for my new company.
Okay.
Things to give out, help to advertise, and I'm trying. I'm getting some samples from companies right now. I'm using some online things to maybe get a mug made up. Something like when I record, I at least have a mug I can talk about. Like drink from. It's there. Some things are just kind of prop related. But I was thinking, okay,
Yeah.
what about a T-shirt? What about a polo shirt? So it looks a little more professional when I'm like at a show. You know
Oh
what I mean? Like
wow. Okay.
I was looking at things, and I'm just going on to these websites, and I'm spending like $25 a shirt, just to see, but with my characters on it, so I can see how it's either printed or embroidered, or
Yeah.
and then I'll be like, okay, then this is the company I order from, and if I want to, as I build my team, I want to be able to, if we're doing shows together, for them to come looking the same,
Yeah.
so
Absolutely.
if I want to get T-shirts for everybody, what's the most comfortable T-shirt? What's the one that printed the best? So I'm just testing companies right now.
Yeah. Shameless self promotion.
Yeah, but that's what you got to do. It's the only way. That's what all this is about. Just like to have Penny Poisonberry and the Gothic Kingdom. That's what we were here to talk about, and we
That's the shirt. That's the T-shirt.
That's your new shirt.
Yeah.
You can even get like a fleece like that made up with a little penny picture or something,
Well, yeah.
or the cover, pocket, I don't know. I mean,
Pocket-sized cover, just about that big.
well, that's hold on, let me just open something. I'll show you guys something. Really quick, if I can find the damn program. I have so many things on the screen, but let me share this really quickly. Up here. Oh, wrong thing here. Why is it doing this now? Replace. I'm sorry. So, why isn't it showing now? What is going? Oh, there it is. Why is this freaking mouse today? What is up here? I did it again.
Oh, it was there. Done.
This is the new company. This is the new logo.
Looks just like you.
Well, yeah, I went a little bit. I wanted a cartoon myself. And this was inked by my friend David Abrevea, and I colored it. So I penciled and colored it. And but this is the design for my products right now.
That's nice. Like it.
Thank you. So this is what I'm doing because I got to like I said, like you said, shameless
self-promotion.
I don't know why this isn't moving like I should. Oh God. See, I click on something. I don't know if my mouse is dying or if it's this website here. There we go. I clicked on it and it just wasn't disappearing. But that's my guy, and got a lot of cool stuff coming out with him specifically too.
And I think the size, the dimension, the colors, I could see that on a pocket. Like it doesn't have to be on a giant shirt. That big, your eyes go right to it. I think it's a good selling point.
Thank you.
That
What
would
I've
be
actually,
nice on a hat too.
I have hats. I have everything. Like I'm making different products online. Just like I'm trying out Printify, Fourth Wall, just different sites to see what's going to give me the best.
Hmm.
And I'm getting ready to make the polo that I'm doing. It's a pocket of the guy, and then it says Inkfera Press on the left bottom sleeve there.
Hmm.
That's the polo I'm trying.
And what is your website? Is it inkferapress.com or?
When it's officially live, yes, it'll be
Oh, okay.
inkferapress.com. I'm slowly building it
Yeah.
because I'm really just waiting to make the product to put up there.
Yeah.
So once I have my old Wiz book, I'm gonna upload a new cover to have the Inkfera Press logo on it, and then I'll be putting out the second Wiz book. And like I said, that 24-page comic that I'm hoping to have will be another Inkfarer piece, and then everything else from there, everything will be Inkfarer. But yeah, I have a bunch of stuff planned. I have a meeting with a friend of mine next week, maybe 2 weeks, 2 weeks, I think, about some stuff that can help me. And I'm doing this with as many people as I trust for as little money as I can right now. Um, but I hope to branch out and be able to publish other people and bring some stuff. And there's a lot of ideas. I'm trying not to like overwhelm myself and be like, okay, I could do this 2026, I could do this 2027.
Yeah.
It's like I have to kind of prioritize. And there's a project that I'm developing that I won't talk about online right now. I'll tell you off the air. But I am so in love with the concept right now
Okay.
because it's something I've wanted to do for such a long time. But I didn't think I was ready for it. And now that I'm doing this, I'm like, this is perfect.
Wow.
This is the time. But I don't think it's going to see the light of day until sometime in 2027, 2028, maybe. So it's like long-term goals.
Takes time. Yeah.
Long-term goals. But on this one, because I don't care about some of my projects, I don't care who draws them or even writes them. I'm like, here's my concept, I'll give it to someone to do.
Yeah.
But this I have to do. This project, I know I have to write it, I know I have to draw it, and it's that simple. This is specifically a Michael project. But hopefully by then I'm too big to even have to do it. I can give it to someone else.
Hey, it can happen. Things change all the time.
Yeah. Anyway, you know what? I'm looking at the time.
Yeah.
We've been on for about 2 hours. I don't want to keep you
That's
online much longer. I know.
It's been fun. I appreciate it.
I've had a great time. I always enjoy chatting with you. And
Oh, thank you.
like you said, we got to get together soon.
You got to come out because when you said you really love pencil illustration, so I was lucky enough to get hold of the original pencil pages for Spontanea. I've got about 20 pages and they're all on my walls here.
I'll have to come on. Well, I currently listen. In addition to my cat scratching me on my head, I currently have a fracture in my foot, so I can't drive far right now.
Oh, okay.
It's in my right foot, which really bothers me.
Okay.
So I'm in a boot most of the day if I have to walk around the house and do things.
You had the same problem when I saw you at the diner, right? When we met with Robert and Richard.
I don't know if my foot. I probably had a hurt foot at the. I get hurt a lot. I'm incredibly clumsy.
You're the glass man.
Yeah, no, like seriously, I am so. There's every time someone talks to me, I could just be talking to you, and I don't know, my left foot will now break. I don't know. It's just, I
Stop thinking like that.
I'm trying not to, but I literally sprained my ankle watching The Lion King in the movie theater in '94.
I can't even imagine how that happened.
I had my foot up on the chair in front of me, and it was just turned like the whole movie. And when I got up, I fell over.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, because my foot was up, and it was so like the chair. Let's say that this is the chair here. My foot was not flat, like up like this. It was at an angle. And I basically sat and watched the movie. You know how you have like two chairs and there's that little space? So that was what happened. And I sprained my ankle, and I had to see the movie because I worked for the Disney store at the time, and it was required to go see all Disney movies.
Really? What Disney store was it?
Jefferson Valley Mall.
Oh, okay. Was that Yonkers?
No, it's near Yorktown, New
Oh,
York.
Yorktown. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's basically Yorktown, Jefferson Valley. It's so,
that's crazy.
but yeah, no, but I saw, and luckily there was a family behind me watching it, and they were regulars in the Disney store, so they knew me, and they helped me walk out of the theater.
Did you get free tickets?
No, well, yes and no. I had to pay, and then they reimbursed me in my check.
Oh, okay, but that's where they knew that you went to see it.
Yeah, that's how they knew.
Someone else's ticket, but yeah,
exactly. That's how they knew. And
because I used to take my kids to the Disney store when they were really young, and I always ended up buying something for me.
Yeah, I was in charge of the collectibles section.
Wow.
And so that was, I mean, I don't want to say that was my main department, if you will. So, and I'll tell you, it taught me some of the best customer service skills I ever had. I don't know where the book is right now, but I was rereading. Do I have it down here? I'm rereading. Come on, get out. If you want to learn customer service, be our guest. Okay, perfecting
that's so funny.
Perfecting the art of customer service. This is one of the best books you'll learn about, interacting with people and selling and stuff. I'll tell you guys something really quick, because I know I just said we're ending, but this is something I learned at the Disney store, right? Okay. And you'll notice I do this when I'm talking to people.
Yeah.
You never point with one finger. That is rude. It's two fingers or a whole hand. All right. So I know the camera's not like on me right now.
No, I get it. Yeah.
So it's either two fingers or a whole hand. So if I'm talking to someone and I'm giving them directions, I'll always point with two fingers. Never point with that got me into the habit. Pointing with one finger means you're angry at someone.
Wow. Okay.
And so like when you and I have my whole arm extended, like I'll do it in my right arm, come this way, or where are you looking? Oh, you want to, like Disney store stuff. Oh, you want that stuff down? It's over there, Plush Mountain, and that's,
oh, wow.
That's how you do it. So
that's interesting.
And also Disney was big on learning names. So learn your customer's name. That's always important. And the other thing was, you never ask them, can I help you? You add, like, this was something Disney. So again, I'm in the collectibles section. Maybe there's a Mickey Mouse snow globe. You go up to them and you ask them, so it could be a question. Oh, are you looking for a gift for someone? Or, oh, is Mickey Mouse your favorite character? So you do things like that to start a conversation rather than,
sure,
can I help you?
Yeah.
Not like at McDonald's where you say next customer, or can I help that person in line, thing like that. That's not what you do. It's it's all about being personable and making a connection.
Yeah. My go-to when I do shows is, well, what's going on there? What do you got? Let me see the shirt. Turn around. Oh, that's nice. And then you start a conversation so quickly, because to me, and I mean this sincerely, it's about their story.
Yeah.
And sometimes people can't wait to come up to you and tell you their story. It's almost like, I'm wearing this new outfit and I'm waiting for someone to ask me. I'll do it. And then I'll point with two fingers and go, come on over. You over there. You come on over.
Your point.
What you got?
That's and you never
great. Did you?
The thumb is always.
Oh, you made it. You made it yourself. I'm pointing with two fingers. You made it yourself. That's great. I love it. What kind of materials did you use? You make a silicone mold. You cast it in plastic. I do that also. Pointing with two fingers. So that's my new thing. I'm gonna point with two fingers from now.
Keep your thumb in though.
Got to keep your thumb in.
You don't want your thumb in. Same thing when you point with the whole hand. Thumb in. There you go.
Right shot.
That's But that's your little, quick Disney store etiquette.
Wow. Do they have still, well, Disney stores in the show, in the kingdoms, but
Well, they
they
have
don't
them
have
there.
them outside anymore, do they?
I think the one in New York City's still around.
Is
And I
it?
heard, and I heard a rumor that there's going to be some pop-up stores coming.
Wow. So
Because
this pop-up now, that whole pop-up thing is like, there's like probably 5 different definitions of that.
yeah,
I always got the idea pop-up was you would suddenly you have it and like it's starting on Friday and it'll be gone by Monday. That's what I thought. But I see signs in the city about pop-up stores. And I'm like, it's been there for months. That's not a pop-up store. So everybody's using the catchphrase. I'm using 2 fingers. Everybody's using the catchphrase. And I'm like, oh, okay, but that's not what that means. Everybody uses it to their benefit. It's like celebrity deathmatch puppets. They're claymation. No. There's very little clay going on here.
yeah.
All right, I think we
All
can
right.
see
Yeah. Now we definitely need to end it. We could talk more off the air, but you guys go to your website. It's Comic Book Kid Publishing or Pub.
pub.com.
Comicbookkidpub.com. And you could see, get ready for the announcements for the Kickstarter for Penny Poisonberry and the Gothic Kingdom. Starts May 4th. You'll go live on Kickstarter. It's a 30-day campaign, and there's a lot of cool stuff. It sounds like that's going to be part of this, so I can't wait to see the campaign live.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And
my YouTube channel, please go and and subscribe to Parallel Hollywood.
Parallel Hollywood. That's right. Almost forgot about that.
That's okay.
That is awesome. Anyway, if I don't talk to you before, which I'm sure I will be seeing you in June.
Yes. Send me that address.
Yes. Hold on.
I got a cool thing to send. Did you see the pictures I sent you?
Yes. I think they're fantastic. There's so many cool things. Again, another conversation. Let me let you go. Yes. All right, guys. I'll be back next week with another guest. So tune in. We're going to have another great show. Actually, I got a good month of shows planned. So, all right, guys. I will see you soon. Remember, Saturday, I am going to live stream for a little bit and talk about Asterix a bit and maybe do some drawings of him and some of the other characters.
Okay, all right?
Slower. Yeah, I know. I will. All right, guys.
Thank you very much. Goodbye, everybody.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.